let's start off real quick with, it's going to be an interesting convo tonight, but with BTC and ETH, because we have been seeing a big sell-off over the course of today. We saw it get below 40K. I think it was even below 39 into the 38s BTC, that is, at some point today. Inevitably, I mean, you and I kind of talked about this, Ewok, but after the ETF announcements and everything a couple of weeks ago, where everybody's like, oh yeah, it's going to be so bullish, I can't wait. We're seeing this sell-off now. The ETFs, the chart's going to be the chart. I don't think the ETFs were really anything we were all that ever concerned about in terms of what the chart would do. But we're pretty much seeing it react the way that we thought it would after this ETF announcement. If you can go back maybe almost a month on these streams, at least a couple of weeks, and see where we were talking about at least getting back to this 38K level, maybe mid 30s, maybe even down to the low 30s. I know the Axis a live stream we did right at the beginning of the year, we talked about that. And here we are getting into the 30s anyway. I think there will be more downside for BTC here over the next couple of months into the halving. But yeah, what do you make of this move right now? And we're also seeing, I saw on Twitter today, proof basically that Greyscale is dumping some of this BTC on retail's heads, now that they have gotten in because of these ETFs. But yeah, what do you think? I mean, what do we see BTC do here in the short term? And do you think we retest that 30K level? What do you think for the next few weeks and months?
Yeah, I think we could get close. Don't forget the FTX stuff is starting to liquidate as well. And they have a nice little chunk of reserve that they need to sell off. So yeah, I mean, I could see it getting down into this, like you said, anywhere between 30 and 35. There, when you look at this last buy from 31 up to 34-ish, there's not a whole lot in there, and they, like you said, we've said it before, a lot of times when they make massive run-ups like this one right here, it went from basically 30 all the way up to 35 in one candle. So not a lot of resistance. It did pull back, and I think that daily candle closed about 33, but still there's a lot of room there that stuff didn't get filled. And it was a huge support back here in this area. It was a lot of sideways movement for, a good month and a half. So, yeah, I think it could easily test. And if it gets down into this level at 33, it could fall all the way to 30 pretty easily. There's not a whole lot there stopping it. Probably a lot of liquidity set up or limit orders set up to buy in that area as well. But it could trickle down there pretty hard. So, it's really going to depend on who's selling, who's liquidating at this point. Like you said, Grayscale, we know they're selling off. And the FTX stuff coming out. When is Mt. Gox stuff coming out too? It's been released.
We were literally talking about that on this show in 2021. I remember us doing podcasts in the fall of 2021.
It's crazy, but it will hit the market at some point. We just don't know when. But I think the big ones that we have to worry about right now are, like you said, Grayscale and FTX, because they've got a lot to sell. The halving coming up, it always makes a nice little pullback before it really starts to do its run up. So yeah, I'm expecting anywhere in that range. 37 to 31, probably.
Yep, I think we could probably oscillate there for a bit, and I haven't really. It's weird, with the way Twitter X, whatever you want to call it, does work. Just kind of the silos that you end up getting put in because of who you follow and stuff. But I mean, I've been in more of a pulse chain silo, obviously, for a while now. But I wonder what regular crypto Twitter is making of some of this right now. I imagine some people freaking out a bit.
Yeah. But another weird thing to look at, though, is I was just pulled up the dominance, which I didn't look at before. And it's gone from, well, I mean, these charts aren't, I guess it's 51.1 to 51.8, almost 52%. So it's making a climb, which is weird when there's as much of a pullback as there is. You know what I mean? It's kind of a... It's kind of misleading indicator, maybe. I don't know.
Well, on the show last week, we were looking at this, and it was basically right at the bottom of that big red candle down.
Right.
And I think that this is, just some kind of short term stuff. Like we just had this significant dip in the market today, so I think seeing that BTC dominance tick up a bit today kind of makes a little bit of sense. But I do think we'll get. I don't call it whatever you want, alt season, whatever. I do think we will get, as BTC sits around here in the 30s. While I do think we'll see the alts start to come up. Um,
Yeah.
I think that's probably a short-term thing we're seeing right there. But yeah, I think we're going to be here for a little while. So I know people were super bullish on the ETFs, I guess, or something like that. But with BTC being up in the 48K, almost 50K area, I mean, basically got warning signs everywhere. I mean, it was like that was going to probably be a local top, and here we are down here. So, and even now, I mean, we've got a lot of room. I mean, it's up over 40K again now. I don't think we're going to stay here for too long.